So, welcome back to another video of the Mk2 Golf Rally or race or whatever it turns out to be. Now, we have been mega busy with some bodywork. If you remember my earlier videos, you remember this looks quite familiar. It's also Atlas Grey, which gives you a clue to what part of the colour of the car is going to be. There's a picture up there, I'll show you in a minute. That's the idea of what it's going to be. Now, I gotta say, I won't rattle on about the bodywork so much. We know it's rotten. The A-pillars all sorted, thank God. What a cowboy mess that was. I mean, just, don't know. No words to describe, to be honest. See the pictures and the video. Jesus. Anyway, that's all sorted, nice and strong. That side's done. Driver side, all the wheel arch is done. Passenger side, need to do a bit of welding on that side of the chassis leg. Then that's the front end welding done. Then we can start putting some stuff in. We've got the subframe cleaned off and painted. And that is sat in the drivers, as you'll see in a bit. And that's red. Ooh, so that's going on. And then we've got some brakes down here from, thanks to Dubstock, sorted me out with a set of 16 valve hubs brakes, the lot, because that is a driver car, originally a 1.3, not going to be a 1.3 much longer. So we needed some bigger brakes. Just factory 16 valve, perfectly good enough what we need. Obviously I needed hubs to fit the bigger brakes on, because the earlier hubs have a built-in caliper holder. Also I needed different main hubs for the drive shafts, all that sort of good stuff. So brakes there, brakes have been painted at the back. What else have we been doing? Spoiler, spoiler alert. We have our Zender spoiler, which is going to go on the back. I did buy it to put on my car, but it just didn't really fit. Does it fit on this car? Perfectly. So without further ado, let's montage on with some voiceovers and the bodywork, and then we'll come and have a quick sneak peek.
So
at the
here
engine.
we have this. I mean, look at this absolute monstrosity. What's this? Ping. So I thought it was a crack. That metal wasn't even welded. It was welded at the bottom and then body fillered, fiberglassed. I mean, what in the world of cowboy is that? Here we go. So we've got the patched on this side, all nice and stone chipped. Happy with this side, we are good to go and put stuff back together. Inside of the wing for that side has all been cleaned and stone chipped on the inside. So we're not going for massive perfectness, but it's stone chipped, protected. And look at this on the boot. I mean, come on. What are you doing? Smoothing. Why would you want to smooth the inside of the boot recess? I mean, give me a break. Come on. This is the second car now. My car was max powered by a cowboy. I saved it. Were these the same owners of this car and this one? But I mean, oh dear. So all of it. All that. All round there. Right. So here we go. This is the colour combo we're looking at. These are the stripes going to be on it with the colours we mentioned at the beginning. We got our front wings done. Now we A-pillar. This was the big one. All repaired now. Much chuff with it. Again, this is a covering panel. The structure was solid. We've waxed in behind the back of it. Made up with a couple of panels, a couple of sections. 1.5mm thick. Lovely and solid. All stone chipped. Just the last bit of welding to do on the bottom of there. And then that side is done. We've also got a rain tray, courtesy of Dubstock, to stop the car flooding when it rains. We've also took a bit more underseal off there, cleaned it up, re-stone chipped, seam sealed it, just got to stone chip that, and then we can get a subframe in. One wing done, like I say, and there's the other one, all primed, ready to paint. And this is a subframe. Guess what? There's a welder out. Wonder what that is. There's rotten holes in it and a crack. So that's the bit we cut out. Again, about 1.5mm thick. So we've got some nice big plate, chopped it down, and we'll whop that in there, weld it all up nice, like so. Nice solid plated. We've also welded that crack up. And guess what, the other side was rotten too, so we've done that as well. That turned out a lot nicer, I was happy with that. Both sides are still solid, so we're all good. I also put a tack on there, and I'll squeeze that together and put some tacks on there and that bit, just because it was factory stuff. And now it's painted. So yes, we're going red. So that's going to bolt up there. Manual steering, obviously I'll change the boots and stuff, so that can get bolted on. So this is said engine. Looks slightly different than it did before.
because we've got a big turbo, nice manifold, some big pipe work, and some fun. So what have we got here? We have got an RS turbo. Why is that? Cheap, reliable. This is a stage 1. Doesn't mean it puts out any more power. Stage 1 simply means it's got a 360-degree ball bearing inside it. So you have constant, even spool up on it, because you've got a constant friction on the bearing. So it's longevity. Now these scream the red off on an RS turbo. Are doing pretty good power. Obviously this is a 2 litre, not a 1.6. So this is a turbo we've got. T3, lovely job. Now we've got a cast T3 manifold from our Spa Motorsport in America. Now, I did ask the question a couple of weeks ago about anyone got any underslung turbo, 60 valve turbos. Certain people popped up and pretty much said no, because it can't be done properly because you can't get a decent sized turbo on the back of there. Blah blah blah, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? So just because you couldn't do it doesn't mean I can't do it. These type of things are manifolds. The flange on the side of here weren't available 15, 20 years ago. They are now. These are cheaply available. The flange on the side of here, obviously the RS turbo has, or the Cosworth, same turbo pretty much, has a big oval on here with the actual wastegate flap inside it. Now you can get a cast elbow, I suppose, but it's not an elbow, a cast flange to go on the turbo exhaust housing with a V-band on it, which is perfect, because then it can V-band straight on the downpipe. Now obviously this is all just mocked up. Now again, I'm going Turbo Technics-ish, just different. So we've got our intake pipe across here from the intercooler, and we've got our output from the turbo. So obviously, yeah, I know there's going to be heat around there, don't worry about that. It's all dry building, we'll sort it all out. So turbo's obviously sucking in air from there. This pipe goes straight down onto the airbox and the K-jet system. Obviously comes out, that kicks out air and goes somewhere around here and ends up back in here. Simple as that. Oil pressure, obviously we'll just run a pipe round to the oil flange. Oil drain, we'll just whop it into the new something on there. Simple as that. Exhaust and wastegate. Now I'm looking forward to having a wastegate chat. Going to be amazing. So the exhaust is very tight. We know that. That's why I'm doing it like this. So pretty much it's going to sit roughly in this point here. That is about there, is give or take, that's where the bulkhead exhaust section is in the Mark II, between sort of 3 and 4 cylinder. That sits in there because the wastegate that sits on there and lines up with there fits over this gap with a little modification. So we'll have our stock wastegate sitting up here, obviously with a rod going on there to open our wastegate. Again, I know it's going to build up heat. This isn't perfect, it's going to be sit where it is, we'll get it happy where it is. Obviously it's going to be sat in a position about that sort of high really. So you've got a clear gap between there and the wastegate, flat bush tish. That'll be obviously wrapped, that'll be a bit short to be honest. There'll be some kind of, obviously it's just sat there, some kind of, what we're saying, heat deflection plate, something like that above there, because obviously that's going to get hot, it's going to, you don't want to warm an intake pipe up. But that's what it's looking like at the moment, and I reckon it's looking pretty good. So, see you in the next one, when we'll be hopefully getting some colour on the car, brakes on the car, and I'll show you now quickly what it's going to look like. So, this is said paintwork plan. Family sort of idea, we popped up with it, going away from the sort of rally theme what it was to something similar. So we have got white at the front, we have got diamond silver, and if you know Mark II Golfs, diamond silver is a Mark II Golf, and then the back end is Atlas grey. So we're going to have white, Atlas grey, white, diamond silver, Atlas grey. Those red lines are going to be on it as well. We've got our lovely spoiler, which is down there. Obviously probably have a little GTI down there, GTI stock spoiler, steel wheels are on it. We're running the 14-inch steel wheels, possibly going to be white, we don't know yet. That's the sort of the base what we're going off. Remembering all this lot needs welding at the back, all these and all the back end, but the front end we're looking good. So we're starting from the front, we're working to the back. But again, so that's the idea what the car's going to look like. Pretty much factory inside, cool stuff on the outside, some decals, stickers, etc, etc. The exhaust going out there, brom, engine out there going whoosh, tish, 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 and the person in there going smile, smile, smile. That's the plan. So I'll see you in the next one. Cheers for watching. Bye.